So friends, right now I am at the Kapila's range of forest, and what you see right now besides me is the image of the notorious Rakesh. Yes, this elephant was so much in tyranny that it had actually killed many people, and eventually people had no choice but to seek help from the authorities, and the elephant was put into captivity. Namaskar, I am Rosalind, and in today's episode of Odisha Journeys, we would be talking about the mighty animal elephant and their association with Odisha. So we all know that the capital city of Bhubaneswar falls in the vicinity of Chandaka forest. Chandaka forest, which is dense, it is dense, and it is once upon a time it used to be infested with huge elephants. We still have a larger population there. It also had medicinal plants, so the forest was dense. So that was it was a perfect habitat for animals to stay in harmony. However, with increase in population and urbanization, a lot of the forests have been cut and converted into buildings. So quite naturally, these elephants don't have a choice but to migrate towards the city. In the process, we see there is a human-animal conflict that happens. So, story like Rakesh, there are many such, and there are so many interesting facets to learn about it. And when we are talking about climate change and deforestation, I think these are the examples that actually teach us a lesson that how we should conserve and preserve our planet so that everybody coexists. We all know that Odisha is called as the land of Gajapati. I mean, the kings were known as Gajapatis. That is, they were the lords of elephant. Interestingly, one of our most famous ruler from Ganga dynasty, which is Choda Ganga, so he was called as Nava Navati Sahasra Kunjaridhishwara. That means he had 99,000 elephants. So he was the lord of that many huge. And the wealth of a king was also decided by the amount of the number of elephants that they had. And no wonder that our temples and historical monuments carry beautiful depictions and ornamental work of elephants and their association with the history of Odisha. So from the iconic, which is supposed to be the first ever description of elephant in a rock art form, is the elephant, the rock art art near Dhauligiri, which is a 3rd century BC monument. Little further, we go to Udayagiri caves, in which Rani Gumpha, wherein we see a beautiful description of how the princess and her entourage of friends had an encounter with a herd of elephants. So that shows elephant, animal and human conflict, in which the princess and her friends start throwing their jewelries and ornaments to ward off the elephant. That's beautiful. And interestingly, we have an entire cave dedicated to elephant, okay, in the form of Ganesh Gumpha, and I believe it is also one of the earliest representations to show how the elephant is holding a garland. We have this practice of making an elephant sprinkle water on the guest and give them a garland. So this is one of the earliest depictions of it. Once we start exploring our beautiful Ekamru Kshetra, we see all of the temples carry description of elephants and their association in our lives. So go to Parshurameshwar temple, and when we see this panel, we see how this wild beast has been ferociously managed by a mahout, okay, who is known to have tamed this elephant. So the elephant is domesticated from a wild. It is now used in multiple facets and multiple work and life of people. And Little further, we go to Baitara Deola, we see that the elephants, which are now domesticated and tamed, are being used in combats. So elephants in Odisha were quite popular. Everybody, right from Ashoka to other rulers, they wanted to capture Kalinga because of our elephants. We also find this mentioned in Kautilya's Arthashastra, in which he says that Kalinga is the land of mighty elephants. So, if you go to Mukteshwar temple or even our iconic Konark temple, each of them has beautiful description of elephants in which they have been presented with along with the king in the royal courts. So elephants were popular for their their might, so they could be used in combats, they could be used in trades as well, and they were popular for their tuskers. So elephants were actually a symbol of aristocracy. So imagine a Gajapati or the Lord of Elephant when he would be traveling atop the huge animal with his entourage and passing by in the streets in historical times. The women folks and men folks would be leaving all their tasks and coming to catch a glimpse of this beautiful scene. So that's what Odisha journey is all about, and this is what we would like our travelers and friends to come and experience in the state of Odisha. So be a part of Odisha journeys and experience such wonderful and interesting stories that are never presented to you in books or any other formats. Thank you so much.